grandmother, she had early onset Alzheimer's. She was diagnosed at 58 and she died at 69. And I was, I think, about 11 years old when she died. And my grandfather kept fundraising and donating, and my dad used to drag me on the walk when I was, 13 years old and things like that. And he passed away in 2006. So I just felt like someone in the family had to pick up where he left off and keep going with it, and that's how we started. And now we're in our 7th year.
I had a grandmother with Alzheimer's disease, but even larger than that, I've been in long-term care for 30 years. I hate really to say that, but 30 years, and have taken care of people with the disease in all that time. Well, I started walking actually in the walk to end Alzheimer's years and years ago, and then I got involved with one of the companies I worked for, Genesis Healthcare, and we figured out how to do a large corporate sponsorship. And from that, I've been on the board, I've been on the development committee. I have a large family and friends who volunteer every year for the walk, help set it up, and so that's kind of how I got engaged with the association.
Like so many of our volunteers, it's affected me in a very personal way. I lost my mom and my dad. My mom was afflicted about 1995. She passed from Alzheimer's complications. Came to the chapter as a volunteer in 2000 in her honor and her memory. I'm not alone in this. So many of our volunteers have lost parent or parents, spouse, grandparent, aunt, uncle, and that's why we do what we do.
My mother had Alzheimer's disease, as well as my grandmother, my mother's sister, and my mother's brother. For me, as an only child, when she was diagnosed, it felt like a boulder had hit me right in the gut.
She raised 4 children by herself. My grandfather passed away, I want to say when my mother was probably about 16 years old, and she was the middle child of 4. And she was the accountant, and she had her wits to her. And I can remember days in high school where, you're going through the economics course, and you're like, Grandma, what's a stock market all about? She knew what she was doing, and she had close to $1 million in the bank by the end of it all, and actually had to spend it all on care. That's the reality of this disease.
Everybody tends to think that it's for old people, like it's, oh, well, they're in their 80s, they've lived a long life kind of thing, and it's not. I mean, my grandmother was in her 50s. It's not just about, losing your memory when you get old. It's just terrible, and it just eats away at your livelihood, and there's so much emphasis on other diseases, and not that anyone is better or worse than the other, but we need more federal funding, and we need more research, and we need more things to at least get a good treatment.
We have to keep giving a voice to those who have lost theirs. This is going to be the epidemic of our nation, I believe, domestically at least, in the next 20 years. It's already happening now, and we just have to be out there giving voice to over 5 million Americans.
Many people are frightened about even thinking about the disease.
And it's one of these very silent diseases. There are no survivors. And as a result of that, people don't come and engage around people, and this association allows for that to happen when a family and a person is impacted by the disease. So it's an important calling, and there's a lot of important work to do.
Whether it's just the day of the walk, you start a team, that's the greatest. Start a team, get your friends and family involved. Our team is really big, and we raise a lot of money, but it's not just me, it's 25 other people on my team that do it too. And we started out with like 10 members, and it just grows year after year. Our first year we raised like $1,500. Last year we raised over $12,000. So starting a team, just going to the walk, even just sharing information on Facebook and Twitter and things like that is wonderful. Every time a little article pops up on Facebook, I share it. Just trying to spread any awareness of the disease is helpful. So even if you don't have a lot of time, you can go to the walk the day of, and it's 5K, take you 45 minutes, you know. So yeah, anything at all is better than not doing anything. Restaurant nights, almost any chain restaurant will do some form of, 5 to 9. We donate 20% or something like that. Rita's Water Ice. We do a couple yard sales, which are very big. Poker nights, bike rides. We try anything. Anything that's going to make any money for the association, we'll try it.
There's a beautiful website called alz.org. And in the local area, you can be local, you can be national, but it's simple. You can run a marathon, run a half marathon, run a 5K race, and raise money. You can get a team and put all together. You can bring early detection and that education to your workplace. You can volunteer in many, many, many ways. They're probably the simplest things to do.
We have a wonderful 24/7 toll-free number that can be a lifeline to people who are really, really struggling with this on a day-to-day basis. So first and foremost, we would tell anyone, write down our toll-free number, take it with you, give it to people, let them know what it is. And that alone is advocating for what we do. I'll recommend someone to seek out a support group if they're dealing with this right now. And of course, every dollar counts. Whatever people can find in their hearts and in their wallets to put forth, I can assure everyone that the money goes directly to programs and services. We get a chance as board members to see the budget, we see where the money goes, and it's going right to people in need, and to look at research ultimately for treatments, which is what we all want. We will get there in time for the next generation. I really believe that's what we want, a world without Alzheimer's.
For more information on getting involved with the Alzheimer's Association, visit alz.org and engage today.